This is Optimal Living Daily, episode 123, 5 Ways to Sustain Your Lifestyle by Colin Wright of ExileLifestyle.com.
Get ready to maximize your potential with Optimal Living Daily, the podcast that brings you the best in personal development and productivity every day of the week. Your optimal life awaits. Now here's your host, Justin Malik.
How's it going, Life Optimizers? I'm Justin Malik, and this is Optimal Living Daily. If you're new here, thank you for giving this podcast a shot. In a nutshell, I find the best blog posts I can find on personal development, productivity, minimalism, and more, and then simply read them to you every day in nice and short episodes. If you're not new here, welcome back. And today's a sort of encore of Minimalist Monday from yesterday. I feel like I haven't read from Colin Wright of Exile Lifestyle in a while, and I missed that. So here we are. Before we jump in, if you want to show just a little bit of love for this show, you can join my free weekly newsletter, which means you'll hear from me personally. You'll be entered to win a minimalism book every month, and you'll get free stuff from me. So to do that, you can text the word optimal to the number 44222, or you visit me online at oldpodcast.com. And I'm going to try to keep this intro minimal. So with that, let's jump right in and start optimizing your life. 5 Ways to Sustain Your Lifestyle by Colin Wright of ExileLifestyle.com. A lot of people are going to read the title to this blog and think, uh-oh, here comes Farmer Colin to tell me about planting a vegetable garden on my roof and that I should only wear pants made of hemp, cut your hippie hair, and get a job. I will then explain, quote, "No, kind sir/madam, being sustainable doesn't mean living in the forest and composting your own bodily waste. It means reducing your unnecessary consumption, increasing your productive output, and generally not reaping what you can't sow. It's creating a personal ecosystem that functions without unbalancing the world around you. You don't even have to ever touch dirt or see a bug if you don't want to," unquote. We'll then share a carton of French rabbit wine. Cheers. Sustainability is not a dirty word or the savior incarnate, as vocal proponents from both ends of the spectrum would have you believe. It is, however, an important component to absolutely anyone's lifestyle, which is why you should include it in your lifestyle design regimen. Number 1, sustain, to support, hold, or bear up from below. A life full of the richest foods, rarest wines, most expensive cars, and most luxurious travel would be great, but without putting in the effort required to pay for it all, it isn't likely that you'll be able to keep it up for long. To be sure that your lifestyle is sustainable, you'll have to be bringing in at least as much money as you spend. And if you want your lifestyle to be steadily increasing in quality, you'll be needing to increase the scope of what you do in order to produce more value. More value equals more money. If you cannot sustain your lifestyle, it will come and go and be something else completely, a vacation. Number 2, sustain, to bear, a burden, charge, etc. You can plan on working 80 hours per week to achieve your goals, but unless you have the tenacity of a coke addict and the durability of a cockroach, you'll start to fall flat all too quickly, no longer able to enjoy the rewards that you're working for and slowly poisoning your health, your sanity, and your plans. I'll leave it up to you to determine which is the greatest tragedy. Make sure that the lifestyle you are designing can continue to operate past the first few weeks. Otherwise, you may find yourself crawling away from the crater that was your master plan with less than you started out with. Number 3, sustain, to support, a cause of the like, by aid or approval. Most of the really successful people I know and know of make a point of including something bigger than themselves in their lives. Sometimes it's a charity, sometimes it's a grand goal that doesn't yet have a physical manifestation, and sometimes it's as simple as helping out a young sibling who's had a rougher time than they have. Whatever the case may be, having a larger goal in life, even beyond your own personal massive missions, can sustain you when things are looking grim. It has been shown that people who have a cause, really into their work, religion, or a pressing responsibility, live longer, even when on their deathbeds. Having something epic and separate from yourself to strive for can be a great burden, but sometimes it can be all that's holding you up. Number 4, sustain, to uphold as valid, just, or correct as the claim or the person making it. Everyone, from Mother Teresa to the villain in a Disney movie, has a sense of good and evil. It may be naive to use such black and white terms, considering everyone has a different definition for what these two words mean, But it's important for the healthy continuation of you and your chosen lifestyle that you know what you believe ethically. I'm not saying that you need to go out and chain yourself to trees or picket abortion clinics, but you should be aware of your own opinions, make sure they stem from facts rather than inferences, and know that these beliefs will be impacting your everyday life whether you consciously think about them or not. You will also have the opportunities to take advantage of certain situations and elevate yourself at the expense of others. If you can make your planned lifestyle a reality by royally screwing over someone else, would you? I personally would recommend not, but this is something you'll have to decide for yourself, knowing that in general, what goes around comes around, and by trying to sustain your lifestyle in one way, you might become unsustainable in another. Number 5, sustainable, capable of being continued with minimal long-term effect on the environment. Back to the word that started this whole conversation. To have a sustainable lifestyle can mean lots of things, as illustrated above, but the end result is that your impact on the planet, on others, and on yourself should be such that you can continue to live your life forever without worrying that you'll run out of trees, money, energy, momentum, or friends. It does ideally mean that you will not consume more than you produce and that you'll do your best to waste as little as possible, but that is just one small part of what sustainable encompasses. To lead a sustainable lifestyle is to stand up and proudly say, quote, I care about the world and myself enough to want both to keep going for as long as possible. Also, I like expensive cars and rich foods, so here's a widget I invented that I'll be selling on my website. It will increase everyone's lifespan by 2 years. PayPal accepted, unquote. Design the lifestyle you want and then live it, sustainably. Anything else is just a vacation. You just listened to the post titled 5 Ways to Sustain Your Lifestyle by Colin Wright of ExileLifestyle.com. And that was my little encore of Minimalist Monday from yesterday, which featured a post from the Minimalists, who, by the way, have a little thing called the Minimalist Game, and that is where you give away 1 item on day 1, 2 items on day 2, and so on for a full month. And I started that on April 1st, and I'm still at it, and I definitely recommend trying that out if you haven't already. And speaking of them, if you're interested in getting their book, Minimalism, Live a Meaningful Life, for free, I give it away to a random subscriber on my weekly newsletter every single month. Plus, you get to hear from me. So to join, you can text the word optimal to the number 44222, or the other way is to simply visit my site, which is oldpodcast.com. So that concludes episode 123. It was nice to bring Colin back to this podcast since it's been a while. And I actually have a fitness author tomorrow that we haven't heard from in about 3 weeks. So stay tuned for that, where your optimal life awaits.
Hey, this is Dan from the Optimal Finance Daily podcast, which is a lot like this show, except more focused on personal finance. Justin handpicks the best posts he can find from blogs and authors like Ramit Sethi, Mr. Money Mustache, and more, and I read them to you 5 days a week. So if you enjoy this podcast, come on over and subscribe to Optimal Finance Daily too. And together, we'll optimize your financial life.
You've been listening to Optimal Living Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode and head to oldpodcast.com. That's OLDpodcast.com for a free gift as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.